Our top story on midday: jury selection in the trial of a deadly track meet stabbing in Frisco is underway. Here's a live look from outside the courthouse. The case has caught national attention and will continue to do so. Thanks for joining us this midday. I'm Kara Sewell. According to court records, Carmelo Anthony is charged with murder and the death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD stadium in April of 2025. We have team coverage of what's happening in court. Chris Sadeghi outside the courthouse with the latest. So Chris, what's been going on so far?
Well, Carol, we heard from a courthouse worker around 600 people were summoned here to the courthouse this morning to take part in jury selection. And our team of reporters and also legal expert inside observing the process through a live feed in an overflow courtroom. Of these 600 people who were summoned, the state and defense teams will try to narrow it down to 12 jurors plus 6 alternates they feel can serve as an impartial jury. So far this morning, they've spent some time going through which people have schedule conflicts, commitments, or any other situations that would prevent them from serving. When they're finished doing that, they can begin the questionnaire process. Carmelo Anthony is charged in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf while the two teenagers were at a high school track meet. This trial, one of the highest profile cases in Collin County history and subject to much publicity, and because of that, it could take a few days to seat 12 impartial jurors. It's also the reason there is a noticeable increase in security at the courthouse today. Seating for the trial is going to be extremely limited, as most of the room in the courtroom set aside for court workers, the families involved, and a select group of media members. There will also be no cameras allowed inside the courtroom, but WFAA does have a reporter who will be in the courtroom at all times to break down and keep us up to date with all the developments through the duration of this trial. Kara, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Well, you want to join us after court each day. Collin County reporter Jobin Paniker, who will be inside the courtroom, will be joined by senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez and a legal expert. They'll be breaking down details of what happened in court. You can join us for After the Trial at 8 p.m. on WFAA+. Let's give you a live look from the Trend Tower Cam in Rockwall. So today should be hot enough to take a dip in the pool or lake. We're going to get a check of your forecast now from meteorologist Mario Ruiz. Yes, I would say the water in the pool is going to be warm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today, very similar feeling to yesterday. So if you were at the pool maybe over the weekend, today, not a bad idea, especially for kiddos enjoying their first full week out of school. Temperature right now is 88 degrees. That's close to the normal high temperature this time of the year, and it's not even noon yet. The heat index is already a factor. It actually feels like 92, and this is specifically at DFW Airport. Winds are out of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The humidity is elevated, which is why we have a heat index. Here's how the rest of the day plays out. We'll make it to about 89 degrees around noon, 93 degrees around 2, 95 degrees. That'll be the high around 4. The heat index will be at about 100 around this time. Winds are going to be light. We'll see a mix of sunshine and cloud cover, and temperatures really hold on to this heat. I mean, we're talking still 88 degrees around 8 this evening, 83 degrees around 10, 81 degrees around midnight. The heat index by then still in the mid 80s. We'll talk a little bit more about any rain potential that we have, and get this, a weak cold front moving into the area on Tuesday. I'm going to show you what that looks like coming up in just a bit, but first a check of your roads with Erica.
Marielle, thank you so much. 11:04. Let's show you what the midday drive is looking like. If you're getting ready to travel Dallas County into Rockwall County on 30 eastbound, just be aware that we're again dealing with that road work this hour, and it is absolutely causing some slowdowns. As you can see, westbound lanes open, moving very nicely, but eastbound side not the case. Now, this is what the map looks like across the rest of North Texas. We're actually in pretty good shape, but I just want to show you that stretch that is slowing down. Again, making your way into Rockwall County from Dallas County, we're really seeing the congestion here at Dow Rock because of that daytime road work. The other spot that we're dealing with a little bit of road work this morning is 175 westbound and Railroad. We can see it from our camera here at Bear. We've got a right lane closure, and it does look like they've got that exit ramp closed off as well. So not a full closure on Highway 175, but just something to watch out for. Taking over to Denton County, we're also dealing dealing with 35 southbound road work at Ganser this morning. We've got a left lane closed, so that does drop us down to one lane open and moving. So if you're planning to travel Sanger in toward Denton, that's going to be something that you want to keep in mind as well. Taking our TxDOT cameras full just to check in here as you maybe plan out your drive across Collin County. We're actually looking really great. No issues or delays on 75 at Park Boulevard. Kara?
Thanks for the update, Erica. So continuing our coverage on the deadly gas explosion at the Clyde Apartments in Oak Cliff. Families are still demanding answers on what caused the blast last Thursday. Community activist Sylvia Collins, Marisol Perez, and her 18-month-old son were killed in that explosion. Public records from nonprofit Texas 811 shows Addison-based Barba Drilling Company was working at the complex and even documented a damaged gas line before the explosion.
The question is always going to be did Barbara disregard the markings, or were the markings done poorly, or were they even done at all?
Now, we've reached out to Barba Drilling about this, but have not heard back. Meanwhile, investigators have not officially identified what caused the explosion, as several investigations are still ongoing. Right now, Austin Street Center is helping families move to a nearby hotel. The organization will also cover housing costs for 6 months and help with long-term recovery efforts. Mission Oak Cliff Baptist Church is also collecting donations this week from 9 o'clock this morning until 3 through Thursday. Other local businesses, including Home on Bishop, IT Service Alliance, are also helping with the relief efforts to get those folks some help. As our team digs for more information about how this happened, we will bring it to you right here on our air and on WFA+. Remember, you can download it free to your TV now. New on midday, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is suing the city of Denton to prevent a pride event from happening. Two local organizations put together an event called Big Gay Swim Day at the Quakertown Civic Center this Sunday. The lawsuit accuses city leaders of violating the Texas Women's Privacy Act by allowing gender-neutral changing rooms, despite getting a written notice 2 weeks ago. Organizers have not commented on the case. In the Middle East, Iranian state media reports leaders have suspended peace talks with the U.S. after Israel's latest attacks on Lebanon. It comes after President Donald Trump sent back changes to a proposed deal between both sides. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
New uncertainty over negotiations for a peace deal between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's semi-official news agency now reporting that Iranian negotiators have stopped all communications with the U.S., citing the ongoing Israeli strikes into Lebanon. Iranian state media also reporting a renewed commitment to completely block the Strait of Hormuz. Israel's incursion into Lebanon threatening to derail U.S. efforts to reach an agreement with Iran. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today calling for more strikes in southern Beirut, as Israel has pushed further into Lebanon than it has in 26 years, as it fights the Iranian-backed Hezbollah. The Israeli military warned residents of Beirut's southern suburbs to flee their homes amid potential impending strikes.
The big issue here is if Iran wants us included in a ceasefire, then they have to be responsible for Hezbollah. That is their number one proxy.
The U.S. and Iran also exchanging strikes, both countries claiming it's in self-defense. CENTCOM says U.S. forces intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles that were targeting American forces in Kuwait Sunday night. The military says no U.S. personnel were harmed.
They believe Iran's either getting ready to take a strike at them, and they are trying to disrupt it, or they're continuing to mine the Strait of Hormuz.
President Trump last week said a deal with Iran was largely negotiated, but sources tell ABC he has sent Iran changes to a proposed framework. The president saying Iran must agree to never obtain a nuclear weapon, turn over its remaining enriched uranium, and reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
President Trump claimed overnight that Iran really wants to make a deal. He also pushed back on what he called chirping by Democrats and Republicans pushing him on these negotiations and insisted a deal will work out well in the end. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Gas prices continue to go down in North Texas. We are still paying below the national average, which is now $4.32 a gallon and sliding back down. AAA says the cost to fill up in the DFW area is $3.77 a gallon. That's down from a month ago when it was close to $4. Right now, rescuers in Laos are in a race to save 2 miners trapped in a cave as heavy rain threatens that cave, again with floodwaters. There is some hope on finding the missing miners. Rescuers say they heard some knocking signals beyond where the first 5 people were found. The 2 missing minors have been missing for 13 days after all 7 people were trapped while looking for gold. Early voting is underway for Frisco's next mayor. It is a runoff between Mark Hill and Rod Vilhauer. This will be the first time since 2017 that Frisco has had a new mayor. Runoff races for mayor are also going on in Farmers Branch and Denton. Early voting runs through June 9th. The future of Dallas City Hall could finally be decided a week from Wednesday. It's something that's driven a wedge among council members and many residents. Senior political reporter Jason Whiteley says there is a new push now to have younger people help reimagine the site.
You might be already seeing this brand new ad. The group that wants to redevelop the City Hall site has a shiny new 90-second commercial out.
Here's an idea. Let's make downtown more fun. A place where people want to live, work, and enjoy.
This one is aimed directly at the younger generation, urging them to help reimagine the site with mock-ups of what a new arena could look like where City Hall now stands. The group called Say Yes to Downtown produced it, and Trey Black, a local business executive, argues this idea is bigger than just one building.
Over the last 50 years, nothing has happened in that area. It's just a dead zone. So what can we do to improve the land value around that area and make that part of town exciting and have it to actually connect to new neighborhoods, right? I mean, we have an opportunity to re-energize downtown, re-energize the Southeast Quarter. You can't do everything all at the same time. And it's just a series of puzzle pieces that we're putting together in order to make sure we have a better city, a better downtown.
Lots of opposition to talk like this. The Save City Hall group says there are plenty of other places in downtown Dallas to redevelop, like the Central West End, the East Quarter, and even the Cedars. City council members tell me the decision is going to come down to money and whether it's cheaper to stay or go at City Hall. That decision perhaps as early as June 10th, a week from Wednesday. We share all of our raw political interviews, the unedited ones. You can stream them at WFAA Plus. You just need to download our free app on your smartphone or on your smart TV.